truth.
Get a job that you can't stand so you can buy some cans of food. Go overseas and die for freedom. There's some oil we can use. Our democracy exists so that you think that you can choose. But our algorithms make you do what we want you to do. What's the problem? Your depressed society has you confused. We got medication for you that you'll probably abuse. Go get married to a lady who also don't have a clue. And pump out a few babies that are just the same as you.
Welcome to the system, everyone's a victim. Doesn't matter if you're black or white, it hates you all. Here inside the system, violence is a symptom. Fighting for what's right, but somehow everyone is wrong. Welcome to the system, everyone's a victim. Doesn't matter if you're black or white, it hates you all. Here inside the system, violence is a symptom. Fighting for what's right, but somehow everyone is wrong. Welcome to the world, baby girl. I'll paint you pink if that's okay. We'll encourage self-destruction through the music that you play. We divided all the men by trying politics and race, and honestly, it's working awesome, so for you, we'll do the same. Never teaching you to love yourself, inject you full of hate. Objectify your sexuality, then blame you for the rape. And weaponize the differences that make our men and women great. Then just to screw with you, erase the genders. Everyone's the same. We'll empower you with rights to vote and fight for equal pay. Then have the men turn into women and you'll fight for them again. But you thought you had it figured out, but everything has changed. Welcome to the system. Please enjoy your stay. Here's a Bible and a bottle of the cheapest booze we make. Find a man who can take care of you to fill the...
Hey, how we doing this morning? Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Mike Files. I'm just leaving this one up for a second because I got to remember what I wrote on this. I just made this meme this morning. That's Nina Jankowicz. And you know who that is. Sniffy Joe. I'm just trying to... I can't even remember what I wrote on there. Super flipper California's sniff will make you nauseous. That's my version of Mary Poppins right there for you. You know, I didn't want to put that psycho picture of Nina Jankowicz, you know, with the red, and you know, it was just kind of psycho and scary. And I better stop this because I know it's coming through in the background. Sorry, not sorry. It's amateur day. It's Saturday morning. Hey, I hope everybody had a good Friday night. To go out and be somebody. Why, it's Friday night. Let's get stupid and be somebody. Still got Saturday night, too. Nothing like Saturday night to get stupid and be somebody. Nah, not around here anyways. Anyway, hope everything's coming through clear, loud and clear. I put out a couple posts here today. There was something that came on, it came in kind of in front of my window earlier this morning. It's been kind of a hot topic that's been bantered around, batted around, you know, played badminton with it for a while. And I finally decided to sound off on it. And of course I got a bunch of, some comments from people. I don't care. You all know me. I don't care. My intention is I'm not trying to alienate people, and I'm certainly not trying to hate on anybody, so the topic came up this morning. I saw a thing about a female skateboarder, and her name's Taylor Silverman, and she recently was competing in a Red Bull event, and she got second in everything to a transitioned, previously biological. See, I got to sit here and say this right. I'm not, and trust me, okay, I don't have anything against any transgender people. I'm not transphobic. I'm not homophobic. I'm not Islamophobic. None of it. There's no phobes here with me, okay? What I do see though is, and I've watched the footage with Leah Thomas, excuse me, and also with Fallon Fox in the UFC, going in and just beating the living hell out of a female. Now, she's a female now. However, she was born a year before me. I'm not sure what year she transitioned, but it was obviously after the age of 18. So here's my take on it. And I don't think that I'm mistaken with this. If an individual has gone through puberty as a male and then transitions And from everything, all the studies that I've read, and trust me, everybody knows that I do my homework on these things. I don't just sit here and spout stuff. I don't just sit here and make things up. And from what I see that if a man goes through puberty, transitions, starts taking the hormones, and here's the other thing too, the IOC, the International Olympic Committee, they don't even have any restrictions they don't even have any language about whether or not an athlete has taken the transition hormones or not. So technically you could have a man just 2 weeks before the Olympics, or whatever the qualifying is. I guess there's a qualifying process for the Olympics, but you could have a man just say that he now identifies as a woman and, have grown his hair out and painted his fingernails and decided that he's a female and go compete as a female. I mean, legitimately, there's no stipulation on that. So, and then, the big hot topic has been this year with Lia Thomas. Now, she was a male Division I swimmer, ranked 400 and I've heard 432nd, I've heard 467th. It was in the 400s nationwide, nationally, as a Division I swimmer. Now, that's nothing to sneeze at, because it's very difficult to become to make it, to be a Division I athlete. It takes a lot of hard work. And on the flip side of that coin, for all the females that are swimming in Division I college swimming, that takes a lot of work. It takes an awful lot of work. Trust me, I spent my whole childhood wanting to go I wanted to be a college baseball player. I remember in 6th grade, it was the day of, what do you want to be when you get, I said, I want to be a college baseball player. My teacher laughed at me. And I was a fat, pudgy kid at the time, but trust me, that lit a fire under my ass. I was down, this is the type of sacrifice that it takes. I never went to a high school prom. I think I went to maybe one dance. I was down at the baseball field by myself at senior prom with the lights on, hitting off of a tee into a cage. The police showed up. What are you doing down here? So I'm getting ready to leave here. They're like, it's senior prom. I'm like, I don't care about that. So that's the type of dedication that it takes. And so I'm not saying that Lia Thomas didn't put in that dedication. Obviously, she did, prior to what she's gone through as far as transitioning. Okay. However, when you do watch the footage, and I've watched it, and off the starting blocks, all the other swimmers, they're already in the water, and she is extended like feet beyond. She's like 6'2". You look at pictures, she stands on the podium. The other females are standing away from her. I've seen a few of them come out and talk about it, and they're not happy about it. They don't think it's fair, and I don't think it's fair either in that circumstance. And it's my belief that I don't think that somebody should go through that process until they're an adult. I'm not, and I don't know that 18's an adult, but if you're 7 or 8 years old, I think that's very irresponsible. Just my opinion. When you look at the numbers, the statistics, when you look what estrogen does to the male body and how susceptible the male body becomes to cancer, that's something to take into consideration. Okay. And then you have to acknowledge the suicide rate. Okay. A transgender person is 19 times more likely to commit suicide than somebody else. These are things you have to take into consideration. And I'm not trying to be hateful. I'm not trying to be discriminatory, nothing like that at all. These are numbers that are out there. There's been studies done, and like I said, I try and do my homework on these things. And so I saw that Taylor Silverman, for one thing, it was a Red Bull competition, which, that's pretty badass. If you're competing in a Red Bull competition, then, you're at the top of your game. And I saw some of her videos. I don't know her. I reached out to her and tried to say what's up, and because there was a lot of hate coming at her. She just put out an Instagram post about it. That's what I saw. I don't know how it came up on my feed, but I saw it, and I was just like, damn. And I felt for her because I could tell that she works hard. I saw video clips and stuff, and she's a badass skater, and a snowboarder too. I used to skate. I still snowboard. My son skates and snowboards. We love snowboarding. So, and I thought about that. And I know a lot of females that rip, totally rip. But the thing is you can't deny that there's a difference. Are you going to let LeBron James? What if and this is, I'm stealing this, and I'm going to tell you that I'm stealing this right now, because Dave Chappelle already had this in a sketch, but he made the reference that he goes, well, what are we going to do? You're going to let LeBron James transition and go play in the WNBA? Why do we have a WNBA? Why do we have women's soccer, men's soccer? Why do women play softball, men play baseball? I did hitting instruction with a lot of awesome, women's softball players at the University of Washington when I was working as a hitting instructor out there. But the thing is it's a totally different style of game. The way the bat is swung, the approach, it's all completely different, and it doesn't make it any better or any worse. And I know that it's tough to hit those female pitchers. It's hard to hit that stuff, because as playing hardball, years and years of playing, you get used to, you're looking up here and you're picking up that arm up here in the slot. Well, with fast pitch, it's coming from down by the hip, so it's a totally different. Like playing hardball, you're kind of trained. we call it the slot, is what you're looking for, right? So, it's a different thing. I remember Kelly Gruber. I don't know if any of you remember Kelly Gruber. He played for the Blue Jays. He was a third baseman, hell of a player. And he tried to hit, I can't remember which pitcher it was. It may have been Jenny Finch. But he couldn't hit it. And so, there is, it's a nuanced thing. It's a totally different deal. But the swing is different. It's just a different deal. And I'm sorry, but there's differences biologically between men and women. I don't think I need to get into that. I've gotten it right pretty much. I've never gotten it wrong. It's just people sound off, and I approached it. I commented on her Instagram post, and I think that women are going to have to make a ruckus here, because this is, I just don't see it as right. And it's nothing against anybody that's transgender. You got to understand that too. I had somebody make a comment right after mine that said something about, I see your MAGA hat or something. I don't know if it was directed at me or not. I've never had a MAGA hat. I don't ever intend on having a MAGA hat. I think everybody knows where I'm at with politicians. I don't like any of them. So, that's, anyway. I love how that's where people go, though, when you say something that doesn't fit their narrative. And I didn't say anything that was, hateful, hurtful, spiteful, anything like that towards anybody that's transgender. I honestly don't have, there's no hate for, I don't care. I do care. I care about people, but obviously somebody's, the way somebody identifies, or, gender identity, sexual identity, whatever, that's none of my business. Orientation, whatever you want to call it. are you a decent person? That's all I care about. If you're not, stay away from me. But I really don't care what kind of hardware you are or you're not playing with or whatever. It doesn't matter. I don't care. You know? I mean, and I'm the biggest, you know, I fall in that category of, the, you know, the most hated person on the planet, being a mid-40s straight white male from Wyoming. I just not, you know, I know what everybody thinks about guys, you know, racist, homophobic. No, not even close, people. Not even close. And the people that say that don't have a clue about who I am, and I don't care. It doesn't matter, you know. I'm not saying the things that I say. I don't do what I do to garner anybody's approval. Honestly, the reason I come out and speak is because, you know, I would like to think that I'm doing more good than harm. I don't think there's any part of my message that is full of hate, other than towards politicians. And that's not even necessarily hate. I mean, I've said it before. I mean, I don't necessarily like Joe Biden, mainly because of his racist policies in his younger years of his, you know, of his political career. And I think that there's a part of me that feels really bad for the guy. And I know I make fun of him and I make memes and stuff like that. But you got to laugh because, I mean, the guy, I mean, when you watch him, you know, getting off the helicopter and he's trying to go into the White House, and the Secret Service guy's standing there, he's pointing to the sidewalk right in front of him, and he just walks right by him and goes back in the bushes, and it's like, where's he going? What's he doing? I saw him yesterday. I don't know what he was doing. You know, and I don't understand what the hell he's doing in South Korea right now. The federal judge shut down the whole thing with eliminating Title 42, which I think is just a Band-Aid. I think that, you know, we've got to come up with something here. And the thing that's frustrating is that we all just sit here and we just let these politicians just do their thing. We're like, well, they've got to come up with something. Well, what about all of us? They're supposed to be our representatives. I've already fired stuff off to Liz Cheney. She's our representative here. And nobody's very happy with her. I'm not happy with any of them, to tell you the truth. It's definitely not pleasing when you see them allocate $40 billion to go over to one of the most corrupt countries on the planet. Win $20 billion. Think about what that $40 billion would do in the big cities in this country. Think about what that would do for homelessness. Think about what that would do for child hunger. Think about what that money would do for infrastructure. Now, I don't even know where they're getting it from. It's just all made up anyways. It's just fiat currency. It's just fake, phony, you know, it's monopoly money. And there we go with the stupid camera. Wouldn't you know it? So, I mean, I guess that's another aspect of it. But, you know, I don't think that, I think there's a lot more to the whole Ukrainian thing than meets the eye. And I haven't quite put my finger on it, but I think I'm getting pretty close. However, you know, what are you going to do? Say something? You're going to get censored? I mean, I guess I only have one strike now. One of my strikes got erased, so I'm doing good. I'm just at 0-1 right now. I still got 2 good ones to swing at. But I'm going to try and save those. We'll just keep going for the, you know, speaking tactfully, I suppose, is a good way to put it. So anyways, here's my take on this whole thing with transgender athletes playing in women's sports. Okay? I don't know if anybody saw the fight. Fallon Fox goes out there and just beat the living hell out of a female. I mean, it wasn't good. It didn't look good. You know, and then to sit there and celebrate that's what I don't get. Leah Thomas celebrating these medals And you see up on the podium that none of the other female athletes, they're not standing near her. There was, oh God, what's her name? Riley, oh geez. She swims for the University of Kentucky. She tied with Leah Thomas. And so when they were doing the photos or whatever, she had tied for 5th. And I think what they're having, I've watched these things, and I'm not positive, but it almost looks like Leah Thomas, like she goes out and just kicks ass, in one event, because at a swim meet, there's, you have, I don't know a lot about swimming. You've got the front crawl, you got the backstroke, breaststroke, butterfly. But it looks like she'll go out and just go completely, unhinged and just kick ass in one event and then just kind of lay back in the others. So this Riley, geez, it pisses me off. I usually remember names and I didn't write it down. Anyway, she's from the University of Kentucky, and she came out and said that, she didn't think it was right, and that a bunch of the other female swimmers don't think that it's right either, but they're too scared to say anything, and she's not. So, big shout out to her for having the courage to step forward and speak about something that she thinks is wrong. And she's not coming forth with any kind of hate either. And if you notice, I've referred to Leah Thomas as she the entire time here. I'm not sitting here saying, there's no hate there. Yeah, I think that she's probably a very decent person. It's just, it's got to be very difficult when you spend your entire life trying to get to a place like Division I collegiate athletics. It's not easy. Trust me, it's not easy at all. And then to go up and compete against somebody that you don't have a chance against. It's just, there's something, and I don't know what the answer is. Honestly don't. But I know that there's more, I think there's more female athletes being harmed than helped in this thing. So you say, well, does a person like that get to keep swimming, but only in the men's division? Do you come up with there's not enough transgender people in this country to have a transgender, division in sports. Everybody thinks that there's, they did a survey a while back, and you never know how these surveys are done, but the numbers came up that Americans thought that 47% of this country was black. No, 17%. They thought 30% were homosexual. No, that's like 3%. And then I think the study said it was 21% they thought was transgender. The study I read yesterday was at 0.58. And I think once you mix that with the different age groups, because there was like 18 to 24, 24 to 36, and then over that, I think maybe the entire number came out to be like 0.7%. So that's a cross section of the entire population. So I'd have to look it up again to see what the 18 to 24 was, but I believe it was 0.58, which would encompass your college athletes. So if it's at 0.58%, and then you got to think about how many of those people are talented enough to compete in collegiate athletics. We have one athlete that's on the radar. I remember when I was in prison, I saw there was a transgender individual in Portland, I believe it was. And prior to transition, this man was pushing 50, so I think he was probably my age. And he was a big dude. Like, he looked like a big biker. He transitioned and he ended up playing at either the University of Portland or Portland State. women's basketball at like 50 years old. And just was dominating. I mean, just throwing all these women around. And I mean, you know, and as a parent, you've sat there and watched your daughter go through, you know, working hard for her entire life, and then you go out there and you see her getting thrown around by an individual like that. I mean, that's typical for, I mean, Portland's a weird place anyways, but it just doesn't seem right. For one thing, it doesn't seem like that's protecting the safety of female athletes, and it seems like it's doing harm. That's just my opinion. Tell me if I'm wrong. And people want to make the argument, they say, well, you know, once an individual does transition, they take the hormones, then, you know, they lose all the muscle mass, and it's only about 5%. So that's not, you know, that's not that big of a difference, especially when, like Leah Thomas, she's 6'2". I mean, I can pull up a picture of her and show you the size difference up on the podiums. I mean, I mean, you go, whoa. I mean, let's see. Let's just go on the, instead of going on to YouTube, we'll just go on the old interwebs here. Let's see. You like my fast typing, don't you? Okay. Let me get a photo pulled up here. Okay, here we go. All right. Can we blow this up? Doesn't look like we can blow it up too much. Where'd it go? Picture just disappeared. Of course, it's Reuters. Okay, here's a couple photos here. Let me just pull this up. All right, everybody see that? Let me see if I can expand this a little bit. The Expando Man. Okay, so there we go. Now you don't have to look at my ugly mug for a second. Okay, so there where I've got the... I don't know if we can see that. Okay, there's Leah Thomas, all right? And then there's the next swimmers. We've got a photo over here. I mean, does that look fair? I don't know. I mean, look at, I mean, does that look fair? I mean, you can look at, here's a picture of Leah Thomas, and there's Michael Phelps, world's fastest man in a swimming pool. Pretty much the same size. Like I said, I don't know exactly what Leah Thomas's rank was prior. I know it was, you know, I've heard 432, 467, 452. I mean, you can't necessarily say that that's a fair deal. Look at this photo here. I mean, look at the arms on her. There's who I was talking about. Damn it, I can't remember the name. Riley. But I mean, look at she tied. They both tied for 5th. And then what they did was they gave Leah Thomas the trophy and said that they would send one in the mail to her. And when Riley from Kentucky, Riley Gaines, I had one part of the name right. She was told that her trophy would be coming in the mail, and they just wanted Leah Thomas to hold the trophy. So, yeah, she tied for 5th in the women's 200-meter freestyle finals at the NCAA championships. And this was in March, late March, not too long ago. And Riley Thomas is she's pretty tall, but I mean, Leah Thomas is I don't know 6'2". Have to look and see. I'm not positive. Not trying to put out any disinformation out there. But I mean, you think about all the female athletes that, you know, it's not fair to them. It's just not. I don't see how it is. I don't change my mind. You know, and then you have people that, I mean, I've seen this one, just ignorant. Well, just get better then. And, you know, and there are the people that say, well, that men and women should be just all competing together. It's not about winning. Why are you in sports? I didn't play baseball to lose. Any of y'all that played with me or against me knew that. I damn sure never went out there on that field intending to lose. I was one of the most competitive son of a bitches out there. I tell you what, I'll throw at you, I'll spike you, I don't give a shit. I'll come at you, you know. We'll shake hands after the game and everything's cool, but I mean, you know, you have to be a fierce competitor. Otherwise, what are you doing out there? I mean, that's part of it. You're not out there playing tiddlywinks. You're not in a chess club. Even in chess, even people playing chess, they want to win. You don't go out there and do things just to, you know, maybe golf. Even then, I'm competitive at golf too. I mean, anything I do, I'm competitive. I'm not trying to do anything half-assed, jackassed, whatever. Maybe just this podcast. It might be on jackass status for this thing. Might be the only thing. And playing guitar. I'm not very good at that either. I'm trying. Anyway, let me take this picture down. Sorry. I know y'all want to see me instead. There we are. All right. Boy, howdy. Well, what happened to my little ticker? I guess I must have erased it. Oh well. Anyway, that was just something that was on my mind today. I wanted to talk a little bit about that. We'll get off the subject now. But I mean, you know, I feel for these women that you know, going out there and you know, you just can't tell me that you can't look at the photos I just showed you and tell me that there's no difference. You can't. Does that say anything hateful towards Leah Thomas? No, it does not. I'm not saying anything. I don't dislike her. I don't even know her. So why would I say? I'm not saying anything bad about her. I'm just saying that it's unfortunate for the competition, and I don't think it's fair. And if that's being a transphobic, you know, whatever you want to call me, then I guess you can say that. But I don't believe that I am. I don't believe that there's anything in what I'm saying that's hateful or anything like that towards anybody. People make their own decisions. It has nothing to do with me. We're here for too short of a time on this planet to get wound up in the decisions and choices of others. If you're a good person, then hey, you know, and if you're happy, if she's happy, then hey, you know, but I can tell you what is that there's a lot of people that are not happy on the other end of it. So where do we put their feelings in? You know, where do we, you know, how do they rate? So with that, we'll move on. Where else we were going to go? Oh yeah, it looked like, boy, things are coming out on Hillary. Looks like Robbie Mook came out and said she was directly behind, which everybody knew already anyways, that she was directly behind the Steele report and, you know, Russiagate. And Sussman, you know, he went into, you know, saying that he wasn't working on behalf of the DNC or Clinton, yet he billed out for the time that he was in there. When he was in there, you know, making up the whole thing about, you know, the Trump ties to, and there's a bunch of people out there that still believe this nonsense. All you got to do is look at, you look at the decisions and the policy that Trump had towards Russia while he was in office. I mean, he was a thorn in Putin's side. He didn't do anything he wasn't lenient on them. He wasn't like Obama sitting there and whispering, going, well, when I win the next election, I'll have a little more leeway. And, you know, I mean, Bunyanhead, he puts these sanctions in place, and the ruble is performing better than any currency globally right now. You know what one's right behind that? The real from Brazil. What do they both have in common? They are off the petrodollar. How about that? How about that? Where do you think that's putting? Just you know, think about that for a second. Think about where the trajectory of this country is going. With that being pointed out right there. So we put all these sanctions on Russia. You don't think that Russia's not used to living under sanctions? Russia's been under sanctions forever. They don't care. They got oil. They're pumping oil. We could have oil. We're looking at $10. We're looking at $10 a gallon gas here coming up, and diesel shortages. I'm not even going to be able to drive my truck. I'm going to have to get out my old 85, which is fine. Whatever. I can hardly drive it now anyways. It's so expensive. I mean, I'm trying not to drive it. I need to just go get plates put on my dirt bike. Just make that thing street legal. You know, I mean, I'm not going to be hauling my trailer anywhere. I mean, they're in effect just shutting everybody down. And then goofballs talking about people, you need to go back to work and do, who's going to go out there and sit in traffic, you know, with fuel prices the way they are, and food shortages, the baby formula thing just really gets me. They knew about that shit 3 months ago. They don't care. They do not care. I keep telling you this. They don't care. These people that you vote for, they don't care. And then you want to sit here and you want to argue with, you know, with your fellow man about it over who you voted for, when it doesn't matter who you voted for, because none of them care anyways. You see who cares? Rand Paul, Thomas Massey. Who else voted no on the thing? Marjorie Taylor Greene, the one that everybody, oh, she's a nutty, crazy, blah, 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 whatever. She's out there talking about baby formula. She's talking about not being at war. We're at war by proxy right now, in case you didn't know. Just because we don't necessarily have boots that you can see on the ground over there. I don't think that we're not over those, you know, over the Ukrainian border somewhere. You know? I mean, we don't even have a clue about the goings on. I mean, you had 51 former intelligence individuals, including 5 former directors of the CIA, sign that letter saying that the Hunter Biden laptop was Russian disinformation. The person that they appointed to be the czar of the Ministry of Truth or whatever they called it, the Disinformation Governance Board that they put on pause. And Nina Jankowicz, she resigned. She officially turned in her letter of resignation. That's why I made that meme earlier. I was going to show you guys that. Let's see if I can pull that back up. I was trying to, okay, yeah. I did this on the fly. It's not very good. I'll read, but yeah. She was singing the Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious Mary Poppins song. Everybody saw that, her TikTok video. If you didn't see it, you're not paying attention. And if you're not paying attention, then you're not watching this either. Anyway, I just typed something up that sounded like, so Super Flubber California, sniff will make you nauseous. Let me put different color lettering. Anyway, there's Sniffy Joe. I think it's funny. I don't know. Maybe you don't. I mean, I think it's sad more than anything. It's pretty sad that that's the best we can do. Did anybody see him in South Korea yesterday? I don't know what the hell it was that he was flopping around and it hit him right in the face. It looked like it was some guy was sitting there. I don't even know what it was. I just briefly saw it. Some guy's pushing this. It looked like a freaking airplane wing or something. And he goes up and he starts pushing on the thing and it whacks him right in the face, you know, and he's got his wife standing there. She's always just having to pick up the pieces, telling him what to do. Don't step on. It's like the old man off Billy Madison. It's poop again. Don't put it out with your boots, Ted. Let's see if I can find that. Because that was pretty good. I don't know, though. It gets it's low-hanging fruit. We don't really need to go there. I'm just going to leave it alone. It's low-hanging fruit. We'll leave that alone today. The main thing I wanted to talk about was just this transgender thing. And just to clarify that I don't have any ill will. I don't hate transgender people. They're people. I look at people as people. I don't give a shit about the color of your skin. I don't care about your religion. I don't care about anything. As long as you're not a child molester or a rapist or a murderer, you know? I mean, pretty much everything else is, you know, I mean, those are some of the things that are not necessarily, you know, high up on the road to redemption in my mind. Can that happen for those individuals? I suppose so. But it's a long road. But, you know, I try not to have any hate in my heart for anybody. You know, I don't like bullies. When it comes down to it, I don't like bullies. And that's what I see these politicians as. And I see us all getting bullied around. We don't know what's going on. We're uninformed. We're stupid. We wander around. Most of the people I talk to don't have a clue. I bring this stuff up. They don't even know what I'm talking about. And I'm an idiot. I mean, I'm not sitting here saying that I'm any kind of a bastion of intelligence. I'm a useful idiot. You know? I mean, so that tells you right there that we're in a sad place. I mean, you know, people, you need to do your homework. You need to start looking at this stuff. I know everybody's like, well, why do you even care about politics? Well, politics, guess what, people? This is the stuff that decides what kind of world that our kids are going to live in, what kind of world our grandkids are going to live in, you know. And when you get to that point in life, I mean, it was always about me. But then when I came home and you know, took over the job of being a father, you know, I realized that it wasn't about me. And so I take it kind of seriously. I take it seriously. If nothing else, I mean, I just want to be informed. I like to know how things work. I'm a tinkerer with everything. It doesn't matter what it is. I mean, if you were to be in the studio, you'd see I've got stuff. I've got drones over here. I got a DJ controller. I got a tattoo studio. I've got guitars, cameras. I mean, you name it. I'm into everything. I like figuring out how things work. And the political system, you know, society, much the same. I mean, if you don't understand how it works, then, I don't know, kind of at a disadvantage. And unfortunately, the majority of the population is at a disadvantage because people are stupid. And I'm not trying to be insulting, but people are stupid. Anybody that works in anything that has to do with, you know, the service industry, you know, restaurants, any kind of, you know, like a ski hill, anything like that where you have to deal with the general public, you know what I'm talking about. People that drive buses and cabs and shit, you know what I'm saying. People are dumb. They are dumb. They can't read. They can't write. If they do read something, it goes in one ear and out the other, or osmosis through the brain and out the back. I don't know. So I guess that's kind of one of my intentions here too, is maybe, you know, maybe somebody will pay attention. I don't know. But I feel like a lot of times that there's not too many people that are doing so. There's a few. And, you know, you can't get your news from the media either, people. I mean, you can. I mean, you can see what's going on there, but you're not getting the truth. And it doesn't matter what side of the fence you're on. I mean, you know, and we've got a sick society. I mean, you know, and I was looking the other day, too, what happened in Buffalo was Just absolutely horrible. But there was like 4 other shootings that day too. So the one fit the narrative for everybody to talk about. The other ones didn't. And I think that until we get to the point where we're not looking at these incidences and we're not, well, there go another young white male. But yet you still have it going on across the country, and it doesn't miss a race, it doesn't miss a group of people. It happens all over the country every day, and it's not the gun's fault. It's the fact that we're not taking care of people. This kid that did that shit in Buffalo, he'd already been in for a psych eval. I mean, he'd already been, talking about murderous shit. I mean, the parents should have, somebody should have been on him. You know what I mean? I'm not about, I suppose I am a little bit. I can't ever have a firearm again. And I never even pulled one on anybody or threatened anybody with one or anything like that. Somebody used mine. I can't ever have another one. Which, quite frankly, it would be nice to have some kind of defense for my home. But I can't. I've got strategically placed, cans of bee spray and bear mace and shit like that. Wrenches and hammers. Don't use a bat. I'll just tell you guys that right now. If you think that putting the bat up at the front door is a good idea, don't do that. Bad idea. Look what happens when you try and swing a bat in the hallway. You need like a hammer, hatchets. Bee spray is the best thing. Shoots 20 feet. You gotta go to the hospital to get that shit out too. It's not like bear mace. Bear mace you can rinse out. It'll eventually go away. But bee spray, you gotta go to the emergency room. So, just saying. Just a little wisdom. Don't put it by the front door. Don't put it by the front door. Somebody's trying to come in and that's where you've got whatever it is, your self-defense is right there. No. Just saying. Not giving anybody any wild ideas. I guess we got on that subject from the whole shooting thing. It's just unfortunate, It sucks that, those people, the people's families will never see them again. And I tell people this all the time. I said, you never know. You never know. And you don't. That's the thing. You don't ever know. You don't know when you're going to be sitting in Walmart looking at eggs, checking to see if they're broke. Some maniac comes in and starts unloading. Now, it's doubtful where I live that would happen because people out here have a respect for firearms. Everybody had guns when I grew up. People had them in school. People had them in the back of their trucks. Everybody had a loaded firearm. I had a gun pointed at me one time. And that guy was an idiot. And a couple nights later, I kicked his ass. So, whatever. Doesn't matter. But that was like it's about mentalities, and so you can't sit there and say that the guns are the problem because, growing up here, it's same thing right now. So I was trying to talk to these idiot kids out there with these Orbeez things. It's like, you stupid morons. It's like, you're out there with these things that look like real firearms. It's like, you don't understand it. Everybody driving around in this town has got a piece. You know how many women in this town have a little snub-nosed 38 inside their purse? Yeah, probably most of them. That's just the women. Almost every guy in this town has got a piece in his vehicle, or guys carry them around on their hips. I came back from Seattle. I was working at the bank, and I was freaked out. One day, a guy comes in and he had one on his hip, and I'm like, I've been living on the West Coast for so long that you just didn't see that. I was like, whoa. Everybody's like, no, that's no big deal. That's just whatever his name is. I'm like, oh, okay. Anyway, I just wanted to clarify that because I put a couple things out there. I put a post on the book face about this, and I don't know. Weigh in. Let me know what you think. If I'm off base, I don't think so. It's one of those where I don't understand. I don't understand the solution really, but I think that you have to look at things like this, and you have to say, okay, well, who's causing the harm? It seems to me like the majority of the harm is being caused to young ladies that have worked very hard their entire life to get somewhere, and then they're just, competing against somebody they can't compete against. And that doesn't seem very fair. I mean, that's why we have men's and women's sports. And if you want to sit here and have the argument that there's no difference between a man and a woman, we can do that. But if you're going to make that argument, I think everybody should be treated equally. But there's a difference. Physically, there's a huge difference. And if you're going to make that argument that there's not, then, then we need to have a sit down. And you can sit down there and you can throw out the anomalies that there's, the 1 in a million things or whatever, I mean, I don't think Ronda Rousey would do that good against a man in the ring, to tell you the truth. But that's just me. Anyway, I don't know. Food for thought. I'm going to go out and enjoy the rest of the Saturday, I guess. I don't know. It's supposed to rain here. It's cold and shit. I don't know what I'm going to do. I guess I'll go do some woodwork or something. Maybe I'll make some more memes. I don't know. Play some guitar. Throw something on a smoker. I don't know. Whatever. Be good or be good at it. In all things be kind and do no harm. From your gracious host, I'm Mike File. This is the Mic'd Files from 52 miles east of Jellystone Park in scenic Coyote, Wyoming. I'm out of here. Later days, Willie Mays. Tom McDonald here.
Welcome to the world, baby boy. I'll paint you red and white and blue. The indoctrination starts as soon as you come out the womb. Pretty quick, we'll make you stupid with curriculums at school. And if the classroom doesn't do the trick, we'll make you watch the news. Pick your team, right or left, take the red pill or the blue. You can vote, but even if you win, still everyone will lose. Don't forget to buy designer because Gucci makes you cool. We prioritize material belongings over truth. Get a job that you can't stand so you can buy some cans of food. Go overseas and die for freedom. There's some oil we can use. Our democracy exists so that you think that you can choose. But our algorithms make you do what we want you to do. What's the problem? Your depressed society has you confused. We got medication for you that you'll probably abuse. Go get married to a lady who also don't have a clue and pump out a few babies that are just the same as you.
Welcome to the system, everyone's a victim. Doesn't matter if you're black or white, it hates you all. Here inside the system, violence is a symptom. Fighting for what's right, but somehow everyone is wrong. Welcome to the system, everyone's a victim. Doesn't matter if you're black or white, it hates you all. Here inside the system, violence is a symptom. Fighting for what's right, but somehow everyone is wrong.
Welcome to the world, baby girl. I'll paint you pink if that's okay. We'll encourage self-destruction through the music that you play. We divided out of men by trying politics and race, and honestly, it's working awesome, so for you, we'll do the same. Never teaching you to love yourself, inject you full of hate, objectify your sexuality, then blame you for the rape, and weaponize the differences that make our men and women great. Then just to screw with you, erase the genders. Everyone's the same. We'll empower you with rights to vote and fight for equal pay, then have the men turn into women and you'll fight for them again. But you thought you had it figured out, but everything has changed. Welcome to the system. Please enjoy your stay. Here's a Bible and a bottle of the cheapest booze we make. Find a man who can take care of you to fill the holes we made. Buy a house and settle down, fulfill your duty, procreate, and make a couple babies who will also do the same.
Welcome to the system, everyone's a victim. Doesn't matter if you're black or white, it hates you all. Here inside the system, violence is a symptom. Fighting for what's right, but somehow everyone is wrong. Welcome to the system, everyone's a victim. Doesn't matter if you're black or white, it hates you all. Here inside the system, violence is a symptom. Fighting for what's right, but somehow everyone is wrong.
Welcome to the world, everybody. I'ma paint you black and white. I'ma make you hate each other so that everyone will fight. I'ma give you our religion, let the righteous find the light. But I will also give you science to oppose the word of Christ. And I'ma give you borders, they're imaginary lines. If you cross them, go to war and win when everybody dies. And I'ma give you money that you'll value more than life. And let the 1% have everything while you fight to survive. And then I'll give you politics, I'll call it left and right. And while you divide yourselves, I will conquer both the sides. Can't you see? I'm the system, my whole purpose is divide. What you choose will never matter because everything is mine.
Welcome to the system, everyone's a victim. Doesn't matter if you're black or white, it hates you all. Here inside the system, violence is a symptom. Fighting for what's right, but